Oh, that's right. Welcome to the Forging Better Humans podcast. Yes. Clap. I really don't understand the clap part.
The clap syncs
Syncs
the
audio to.
It syncs the audio. You want me to do it again? Is that better?
And now start.
And now start? Oh, okay. Welcome to the Forging Better Humans podcast. I was just laying down Be Real, man. I thought it was good stuff, but whatever. We are here today with one of our newer coaches of this year, of 2023, Ryan Allen. He's been a really, really cool addition to the Iron Legion team. Something that I noticed with strength training is, or especially in the CrossFit world, there just seems to be, kind of an evolution away from a lot of the old strong basics. I can remember back in, I think I started doing CrossFit in 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. So like I'm OG pre-Bach, like before the fucking Reebok shit show and all that other stuff. And back then, like, you know, a lot of stuff, Greg was pushing a lot of shit in garages and old school gyms, and people were just getting it done in different places. And I feel like there was a big respect back then for the big strength guys, like the big 5-3-1 type guys, the Wendler guys, the Louis Simmons guys. Like those guys were talked about with reverence. There was a lot more, I feel like back then, there was a lot more conventional deadlift work. There was a lot more power work. There was a lot more back squat, emphasis on back squats. I can remember running small off cycles over and over, different things like that. There was a lot more focus on making people a little bit more robust. And I just feel like somewhere along that line, call it Reebok, call it whatever you want to call it, along the way, people get caught up in the shine and the flash, like anything. You know, and the snatchy type shit, and the handstand push-up stuff, and the gymnastics, and all this type of stuff starts to come in, and it's like they just started to kind of move away from the basics. And I'm not saying that as a blanket for all gyms, because, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, the way Glassman set up the CrossFit model was we run them any way we want to run them, right? So I've always had a big reverence for those big heavy strength numbers. I've always liked the heavy Olympic lifts, the power lifts, and all that type of stuff, so we've never deviated from that here. But I see a lot of gyms out there these days, they just straight towards the fucking flash shit, and people get hurt. You know, they get hurt a lot. And I just feel like, I know, it's that neglect to the power movements. It's that neglect to that midline and power source construction style stuff that causes the injuries. You know, when you're bringing somebody in off the street, they have no real good midline control. They don't have really good control of their body. They don't have good primal core strength. And now we're trying to put weights over their head, or we're trying to flip them upside down, or have them hang from bars, right? They maybe have never done anything before in their life. And you don't spend some time to try to develop some core strength with these athletes first and foremost, and we just fast forward straight to the flash, which I see all too often in these gimmicky style CrossFit gyms. Not the good ones, just the gimmicky ones, the ones that are the flash in the pan ones that are around for about 4 years and they bounce. These are the ones that, like, I have an issue with that. I have an issue with, you know, we watch, you know, you got all these guys that are watching the CrossFit Games and not realizing that those athletes that are at that CrossFit game have done their power source construction. They do all that type of work. They do that background strength work. They do a lot of shit behind the scenes, and what you're seeing on the screen that day is typically a result of all of that. It's not that they jumped right to it. You know, it's like trying to tell my son when he first started with jiu-jitsu, he wanted to go in and be the ultimate fighter in the world, but then realized he was getting his ass handed to him every day, and it wasn't fucking easy. So, I mean, it's like there's steps that have to be taken. So, you know, we've always had strength as a part of our programs here. We run it in our CrossFit programs. We run it separately. So when Ryan came along, I met Ryan probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, about 2018.
2018, yeah. He was working with another powerlifting company here. And I'd met him before that too. He was with a member of a different company, and then ended up working with another one here. And he was a part of the powerlifting community, and I could tell with him there was something different. You know, he wasn't necessarily running those two communities, but he was a part of it, and there was something about him that I liked. That was it was purely the passion behind what he was doing. He liked coaching. He liked being a part of the actual movements and the coaching aspects of it, the doing the work himself, that type of shit. And it wasn't so much of the like those two previous people that or companies that we talked about. They're no longer around anymore because they were just caught up in the flash. They were caught up in the numbers and the idea of owning a business, that type of shit. I don't think Ryan really had that aspiration. He just wanted to help. So I've seen him come and go inside of these communities that came involved around Iron Legion a lot, so that when we finally got an opportunity to sit down and talk one time, I got to pick his brain a little bit on powerlifting. I found out how passionate he was about powerlifting, and his background in powerlifting for his age is pretty fucking interesting. The amount of skill and the people that he's met along the way, from Travis just recently.
Yes, Travis Oatmeyer.
So you met him, Steffi Cohen. Like, you've been around
Yes.
some of the big names in the industry at such an early age, which is really cool. And I can have you talk about that a little bit too here. But a lot of exposure, and what that's showing me is somebody that's going outside of his daily training to seek out more education. He's going outside of his normal rep counts and his own personal field to go out and learn more so that he can coach people better. And I feel like that's really important for coaches to be able to do. Great skill for coaches. Something that kind of puts a light on them for me and brings them to my attention is when I see them seeking out information, when I see them going out to camps, learning more, getting everything that they can, and then in turn passing that on to members. Ryan has a lot of that skill, even at a young age. I believe that, so when we got the opportunity to bring powerlifting in here to Iron Legion, well, like I said, we already had a good strength community. Now what we did is we added a class. So we added a class with powerlifting. He's back there. He's been training for about a year with us, with our members. It's a separate class altogether where our members can actually move over into powerlifting. They can specifically work on those powerlifting movements under the watchful eye of a coach that's been there and done it. And if he doesn't understand it, he's definitely the kind of guy that will go out, figure it out, and then come back with a result for you, an answer for you. And it's been good. You know, I've been watching a lot of our guys here that while they were strong, now they're getting a lot more technically proficient. They're getting a lot more core strength. They're getting a lot more confidence. Just a lot of really good things that have been popping up from that type of stuff. And again, it's foundational work. It's core, brute, strong, foundational work that I think makes and helps create more bulletproof athletes when you're trying to throw them on CrossFit floors or whether they just want to stay in the powerlifting realm. So just want to take a minute to introduce you in that sense, how we found you and that type of stuff, but I'll let you talk for a little bit. Talk about your experience, why you're doing powerlifting, how you got into it, and then what's your goals? What are you looking to do with our membership here, and even steps down the road? I know you're still involved with the federations and stuff like that, and you do a lot of events. Talk about that type of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So, with powerlifting, I did my very first meet in 2016 when I was 16 years old. Prior to that, I was probably working out maybe like a year, 2 years before that, kind of just in and out of the gym, being a young high school kid, like most high school kids at that point in time, you want to kind of lift some weights, get bigger, get some muscle and stuff, typical teenage boy stuff. But then I went to a gym actually that's no longer around in Ocala, but it was a powerlifting centric gym. And when I went there, I met a few people who were really strong and stuff. And I was like, I want to be like that one day. So, I signed up for a meet, did it, did not have a great first time at that meet. So I was like, okay, I want to go back, do another meet in, I think it was like about 6 months after the fact, and then did significantly better at that meet just by, doing the first meet, kind of figuring out how it's all ran, then just kind of defining my training and kind of seeing what I was actually needed to work on really helped a huge amount.
Wait a minute. You went to a meet.
Yes.
Didn't do very well.
Correct.
And then decided to do another one?
Yes.
That's fucking weird, right?
That's wild, right? It's like, I didn't do a good job, which, I was like...
Most people are just like, I guess I'm not cut out.
No, I did terrible at it. I really did bad. Like, I was not happy with my performance. So instead of just quitting it, I'm like, I still do enjoy doing this. So I'm like, I'll just do it again, but better this time.
That's why it's
what a concept. Then after that, went to graduated high school in 2018. During that time, I was still lifting and stuff, But I didn't do any competitions during that time just because I was doing like senior year, so SATs and college stuff. So a little bit busy with that. Then I went to college over at Florida Gulf State University, and at the time, they had a powerlifting club, and that powerlifting club was the oldest collegiate club in the state of Florida. They were founded, I believe, in 2003 or 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So I joined that because I was really into powerlifting and stuff at the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to join a club with people who have similar values, similar goals as me, because that's how you get better at something. It's by being around people that have the same goals, same aspirations as you do in a, you know, nurturing environment. So I went there, joined it, really became really good friends with the coach at the time at that club. He had a gym down in Fort Myers. We became really good friends and stuff, and then we started helping out a lot more at the local meets. And at the time, this was 2018, and I was involved with USA Powerlifting at the time. So we would go like once or twice a month to all these different meets around the state, spotting and loading and all this stuff. So because of that, though, I had the opportunity to kind of meet a lot of different lifters and different people at the time and communicate with them, kind of talk to them, see what's up with them. And then after a few meets, I actually became a state level referee within USA Powerlifting. And then from there, I still spot and load, but I also refereed meets. And doing that allowed me to, again, interact with even more people, travel a lot more. And then 2019 happened, and then near the end of 2019 is when COVID, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, that's when COVID started to take place. But right before everything shut down, I did become a national referee in USAPL. Like it was the last meet in USA Powerlifting that happened before COVID shut down all of the powerlifting meets for about 6 months. So it was really good timing on my end. So I became a national referee. Things were shut down for 8 months. So I had some workout equipment, some weights and stuff. So I moved that into my garage and stuff down in Fort Myers. So I was still lifting and stuff, but within the powerlifting scene, nothing was really happening because everything was shut down still, like how most people were. Then once things started to open back up, I became really involved again in powerlifting because a lot of people during COVID, they just, in those 8 months, things stopped. So all of a sudden, people stop helping out and stuff just because life happens and, different things happen in different people's lives because of it. So I started helping out a lot more. I was a lot more involved at that point in time. And because of that, I was given opportunities to travel a lot, out of state, out of the country, even for powerlifting. So then, so I was traveling a lot, going to all these international meets and national level meets and stuff. And again, even talking to even more people, some national coaches, some international coaches and stuff, and really picking their brain about how they train athletes and, their ideas, their ideologies, their methodologies on training and everything that they do. And because of that, I really appreciate that I was able to do that because it really gave me a lot of insight on how different people thought. Then I had a little bit of a stint where I stopped doing stuff, but that's just because I was relocating and stuff. And then there was an issue with the federation where they ended up leaving the international scene, and then a new one joined, and I'm a part of the new one, Powerlifting America now. And under that one, I've had even more opportunities to travel to even more places and even go to one of the highest level competitions of powerlifting, which is the World Games, which for those that don't know, that's essentially the Olympics for non-Olympic sports. It's held every 4 years in the year after the Olympics is held. So I was able to do that. And again, that was some of the best experience I think anyone within the realm of powerlifting could get, just being there and being able to see the best people in the world compete. Because a lot of times these people will show up after not competing for 3 years because it's on a Olympic cycle. So you'll have some people that won't lift for 3 years and all of a sudden come back out and, they show up and then they just dominate and no one, I don't want to say no one expects it, but because they don't post for 3 years or they don't do any other meets for those 3 years beforehand, because they're just training, getting ready for this one big meet, it really shocks a lot of people what they're capable of doing. yeah, then after that, I kind of came back to town, and as Ted was saying, me and him got together and we talked about starting a powerlifting strength program at the gym, and now we're here. Um, so while being here, before this, before working here, I was coaching on my own, online, mostly only working exclusively with powerlifters. So since moving here though and training a lot more people here, I've had a lot more of a change in the way I coach because I'm not just working with powerlifters, I'm working with people who are CrossFit athletes who are not just powerlifting focused, they're still doing, yes, a powerlifting class 2 or 3 times a week, but they're still doing CrossFit or they're just more so general population people, which has been, I don't want to say difficult, but it's different because the people that still do CrossFit, the biggest thing is working with what they can recover from powerlifting and from CrossFit. Because previously, if I worked with an athlete, they would just do what I told them. Like that would be all they do and stuff. And I knew what their training was. But with some of these CrossFit athletes, they still do CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week. And I can't really anticipate what those days might be or, stuff like that. So because of that, we've just really had to manage what type of fatigue they are able to keep. But so far, anyone who I've worked with at this gym, they've gotten stronger, faster, or just better at CrossFit in one way or another. Whether it be now they have better body control, so when they do, like Ted was saying with the midline, they have a lot more midline control on some of those movements in particular to CrossFit, where they didn't have that before. Or most of them, honestly, they no longer have like back pain or knee pain just because we've changed a few small things with them, and now we're actually strengthening those areas as opposed to putting them in compromising positions. And then, of course, everyone has gotten stronger as well. And at the end of the day, if you've gotten stronger, you go from like a 315 deadlift to a 405 deadlift in a WOD. If the prescribed weight is like 225, it's significantly easier now, even though it's the same weight, but because it's a lower percentage of your 1 rep max, it is significantly easier to do, so it's less strain on the body as well as it can get it done faster. Yeah.
So where are you looking to go, like, with this type of stuff? I know our training, we're growing the programs, everything's looking good, but I mean, ultimately, like in the sport arena, obviously you're still involved in that.
Yes.
We do 2 events here a year. You're still going to be traveling out supporting those federation events. You're building. Even last night we were sitting here talking about building a team of powerlifters right here at Iron Legion.
Yes, absolutely. So as far as like what I want to do, I really like Iron Legion. I've been to many different gyms across the country and stuff, and I've seen how they operate and stuff, and I really do like Iron Legion, especially with the community we have here. Like any gym that I've gone to that has actually succeeded, it's always been about the community. It's not just a gym, it's a place for people to be with like-minded people, and
right.
Iron Legion really fosters that. And other gyms, some gyms, they don't have a personality, like, Planet Fitness Gold Gym. It's not a training center, it's a gym. People just go in there, do whatever they want and leave. They don't actually foster any type of growth per se, because they don't have that. That's not their business model, which is okay.
Commoditized
Yeah.
fitness model, which is it's popular, but
absolutely.
it's not what we do.
Yes. So what I want to do, I really do want to grow the sport in Ocala, because we have had a few powerlifting gyms over the years in Ocala, and there's always been very strong people that have come out to them and show that Ocala does have a lot of very good strength athletes. But the issue has been ownership at all of those businesses in the past. Due to personal reasons, they've always failed. But
that's not just powerlifting. I've seen that across the board, jiu-jitsu, CrossFit, everything here. We have great athletes here in Ocala, and you're right. They've all been subjected to poor mismanagement of gyms, piss poor coaching at those gyms, and it leaves a sour taste in their mouth.
Absolutely.
Where, eventually they're just like, fuck it, man, I can do it myself.
Yep.
But there are still a couple gyms around that have always been here, and we've always cared.
Exactly. So it's just kind of giving enough time for some of these athletes who have had a bad taste in their mouth to realize Iron Legion is nothing like that. Since, like Ted was saying in the beginning, we're not a flash in the pan type gym. Iron Legion's been around for 12 years now, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon. And there's been nothing bad about
Nowhere
the
but
gym.
up, motherfuckers.
So they just need to realize, like, this is a permanent program. I am staying here, and we will grow it. And whether or not you want to join or not is up to you, but this will be the place in Ocala to train for strength.
Yeah, like I said, we've got those 2 events a year. And then, those are federated events. Those are international. Like,
Yes,
potential for international
Powerlifting
meets.
America, they are the official U.S. affiliate for the IPF, which is the most legitimate international competition. It's similar to International Weightlifting Federation.
Right.
We are the ones associated with, the IPF is associated with the Olympics. We have Olympic recognition, even though we are not in the Olympics. I believe powerlifting is the only sport with that. So it's only a matter of time, though, until that happens. But then beyond that, within the organization, I do hold a few events a year. I do travel a lot for that. I'm in the process currently of getting my international referee certification. And then from there, within powerlifting, I mean, as of now, that's kind of where I want to be. At the moment, I don't really want to take on any type of leadership role just because that is a full-time job. Yet because it is a 501c organization, it is a charitable organization, they do not pay those members, so I'm not in a position to be able to take any of that position at the moment.
You'll work for free.
So with the leadership of Powerlifting America, yes, like all of those guys do work for free, and they work probably about 40 to 60 hours a week.
I thought you meant here.
No. Ted got really excited for a moment. His eyes really perked up. No, so I want to do the coaching though, long term. That's not something that I've, it's just like a phase. It's been, I've been coaching people since 2018. And right now I have the most people I've coached. I probably have about a very consistent 12 to 15 people at Iron Legion on top of some outside athletes, which I have as well. So my roster right now is about 25 athletes. Yes, that's the thing, it's dedicated. It's not just, I have the occasional people that come in once a week, once every other week. I'm not including those. But I do have about 25 dedicated athletes that do train about minimum of 3 times a week, in and out. So it's really a great program we have here.
And that's a testament to it's your coaching.
Yes.
Right? So if people are returning 2-3 times a week, they know there's a benefit in it. And they're also they're getting the understanding as to why they need that in their life, why they need that style of training in their life. And if you can answer the why for somebody, they're going to participate so
Absolutely.
much more. Now it may take a little while to get them to understand their why, but because a lot of people, I just feel like I need to be fit. I feel like the world just says I need to go do this. But then once they come in and they figure out why they need to do it, and then you can kind of answer like, here's why. They participate more, and that makes you a better coach.
Absolutely. And the big thing with my coaching, I just don't like telling people what to do. I like to really explain to them why we do what we do.
Exactly.
Why do we set up on deadlift this specific way? It's not just because I told you so. I really want them to understand how they move. And a lot of times, the people that have been working with me for about, like 4 to 8 months at this point, they really understand now. Like, I don't even have to really be super hands-on with them. Like, they will do something and they will come back and be like, before I even say anything, they look at me and they tell me exactly what they did wrong, and they tell me what they need to do to correct it. And I think that's really a good testament to good coaching, where your athletes truly understand their own body. And that's the best dynamic for an athlete and coach, is when the athlete truly understands what their body is doing, as they can fix things themselves at that moment instead of needing a coach. And they can truly give very accurate feedback on themselves as an athlete, and that can help with the coaching.
I've worked and curated programs over the course of our 12 years and added in everything that I believe builds strength and confidence. And I believe that that's such a huge gap missing in this world. Even if we just take the strength piece out of it, it's confidence in and of itself. It's confidence at your job. It's confidence with your family, with your kids. It's confidence in your day-to-day arrangements with people. And what helps people become more confident? Being comfortable in their own skin. If you're comfortable in your own skin, you're probably a lot stronger than you think. That strength, that physical strength adds to your physical strength or your mental strength. Being confident in a situation is going to come from you feeling better about being able and being physically capable. So our programs are all based around strength and combat. So we have, powerlifting, we have strongman, we have CrossFit, we have tactical stuff that we do here. We do some intro programs. We have jiu-jitsu. We have kids programs. Everything that we do is strength and confidence based. And I believe that that's something that's just sorely missed in a commoditized market where everybody's out there just trying to sell a flash in the pan with no real reason behind it. Our reason is just that. I want to make you a better human being. I want to have you more comfortable in your skin, more confident and stronger in every step that you take moving forward. And I believe that everybody that we've been adding to the team, I've introduced most of my coaches, you can see that come from them as they're talking. So, if you're looking for something a little bit different than your standard flash in the pan or your normal commoditized global gym style feel, come give us a shot, man. It ain't no harm, no foul. If it doesn't work out for you, good luck out there. I'm still pulling for you. But, yeah, we're here. We want to help. Ryan's on the team now, so we've got an excellent powerlifting team getting built. So if you're looking to start powerlifting, get better at powerlifting, join the team, our Iron Legion powerlifting team, that type of stuff, our community here. Let us know. Hit us up. That's going to be our podcast number, which one we're on. We're just growing every single day, and we'll talk to you on the next one.
Yep.
Out.